Hello and welcome to the description for the Geospace semester final portfolio. This final will have you reflect on course content covered throughout the semester, and you will be creating a digital portfolio that displays how your work has met the learning targets of the course. So this video will go over the requirements for the final. Okay, it'll also explain how to start a Google site for those that haven't. And so we will begin. The requirements for the final are stated here. You will need a home page on your Google site titled Geospace. You will also need to include your name. You will need 3 images that represent your favorite subjects from this semester of astronomy. You will also need to include the purpose of the portfolio and the description of the first semester of Geospace. Okay, so you'll make text boxes for each of those. Then you will add 4 pages. For each page, you're going to need a title as well as an image. You will need to state the unit learning target, and then you will go searching for one piece of evidence for each of the unit's topics. So when I talk about evidence for the topics, on the second page of this description, or on these requirements, there is the pages you need, the unit learning target that we used, as well as all of the different topics from astronomy this semester. So you will need one piece of evidence for each of these topics. Okay, and the evidences are listed in the final column. When you've found your evidence, you will then make a connection between how the evidence demonstrates what you have met about the learning target. You can always go back to Classroom and look at success criteria to help you write those paragraphs. Remember, if you go to the feed of Google Classroom, every time we've done assignments, there is a description of exactly what the criteria for success is. You can use that to help write your paragraphs. For those that have not created a Google site before, this is how you do it. You open a new tab. You go to Google Drive. To create your site, you will go to this blue New button. You click on New, scroll all the way down to More, and choose Google Sites. That will create a brand new, fresh Google site. First thing I would do is title it, and I would title it probably Geospace, and then include your name in the title if you want credit. Okay, and then you can get to work. So I'm going to go over some of the functions of Google Sites, and then I will show you a Google site that is much further along. So this is your title page. You can put the title for your actual site, which would be Geospace here. Then you can add another text box if you want to include your name. You also need to add your pictures and a couple text boxes relating to your purpose of the portfolio as well as the description of this first semester of Geospace. Things you can do in Google Sites: you can make new pages to your web page or to your website by going to the pages and then adding this plus page button, add page down here. Your first page, remember, will be titled Astronomy Intro. And so if you wanted to just make your page, first page, you could do that as easily as that. If you wanted to change the layout of your website, you can go to this cog over here, change it to side navigation so that your pages drop down on the side. It's a little different of a look instead of them being on the top. You can change your themes. All of this is up to you. You can also insert, go back to insert, and you can insert text boxes anywhere you want. They'll pop up. You can move the text boxes a variety of places. You can add images by doing a search, or by pasting, or by pulling your own, or from pulling from Google Drive, but the search is probably the easiest. So if I were to add an image of the Milky Way, for example, I could do so just like that, and it would show up on my page. I will now pause the video and go into a much more completed or further along website. Okay, so here I have a partially made Google site, Geospace Final Portfolio. My home page now has background image, title, my name. I've also added some images to the home page and then made spaces for the purpose of the portfolio as well as the description of Geospace. I've also added all of my pages, so if I were to go to Astronomy Intro, you would see Astronomy Intro. I've changed the background image. I've added a space for the unit learning target. The other thing I need is evidence for each topic, so I would start with adding in potentially either my Intro one-pager or my Cosmos viewing guide, or you could start wherever you want as long as you get all topics. Powers of 10 might be an easy place to start. If I were to add an actual piece of evidence, I could go to my drive. I know that we did a Powers of 10 assignment. Search for Powers of 10 in my Google Slides or in my Google Drive, and then of course I could upload it. So you can insert your items just as easy as that. Here is your embed of your activity. Okay, and then all that would be left is then to create another text box, and this would be your connection paragraph. So I would take what I learned in the Powers of 10, I might have to look back over it, I might have to refer to the assignment or the learning targets themselves, and then I would simply make my connection paragraph. And, in this assignment, so on and so forth. So for each topic, remember, you need to add evidence as well as your connection paragraph. The last 10 points out of your total 100 will be to website layout, and that has to do with just how clean and well thought out the layout is of your website. Remember to add more activities or more evidence. All you have to do is search from Drive.